Hi guys, welcome back to another Hugh video, and in this video we're going to be fixing up 3 of my iPhones from my collection. Now these have small faults, and instead of making 3 separate videos, I thought I would just include it in one video. So the first phone we're going to be taking a look at here is an iPhone 5 white and silver 64GB on iOS 10.0.1. Now you may recognize this iPhone 5 from the 3 iPhone 5s for $60 video, which I posted back in February. Now this device was iCloud locked, but I did have that iCloud removed. I managed to trace down the proof of purchase of that device and was able to get it removed from iCloud, and it is running iOS 10.0.1. Now, the only problem with this device is the power button does not work. It does work sometimes if you press on it hard enough and in a certain spot, but that's not good enough. So I went ahead and ordered up a new part for this, so I can go ahead and disassemble the device, go ahead and install that new part. Now, replacing the power button in an iPhone is one of the hardest things to do, in my opinion. It's easy to change a dock connector, it's easy to swap out a logic board or change a camera or replace the battery, but in terms of getting the power button in and actually working correctly, it does take a little bit of time and mucking around to make it actually function properly. So in this video, I'm going to be doing that to this iPhone 5. Now the battery in this device is at 100% health. I'm not sure whether the battery itself just doesn't have the capabilities of telling the battery health, as it is an aftermarket battery, but either way it does function just fine. I didn't notice any issues or performance issues with this battery. So basically, to replace the power button in an iPhone 5, you need to go ahead and pull apart just about every bit of the phone, excluding the dock connector, because you don't need to be going and working around down there. So you go ahead and unscrew it and the cable will come disconnected. Now once you actually unscrew the cable itself, all the buttons and everything will be loose and they can fall out. Now I went ahead and ordered a new part which came with the brackets. Now, if you are doing this yourself, I do recommend buying the power button and volume flex cable with the brackets installed. Basically, all this means is you don't have to transfer the old brackets off the old flex cable onto the new flex cable. They already are on there and lined up properly, so pretty much the volume side of things just screws in just fine. The mute switch lines up a lot easier. The power button is still quite difficult to get installed into the device, but either way, it does help and save a lot of time. Now, I did actually cut the clip here because trying to get that power button lined up correctly was very difficult with a giant tripod in front of me, so sorry about that, but it took me a good 5 to 10 minutes to get that lined up properly. There's pretty much a pole that sticks out of the housing, and you've got to get the bracket to go around that pole, so it's sort of like a hinge mechanism that makes the power button click. Anyway, it's a little bit hard to explain here, and it is very small, so I can't really show you on camera, but either way, once you get that installed, you can go ahead and screw everything back together, reassemble the device, and hopefully everything went fine and your power button is now working. If you are doing this, I do recommend loosely placing everything back in, maybe screw the logic board down and everything like that, but don't go ahead and screw the screen in or the battery in. Just clip everything in and test it out like I did here, and you can see there, pressing the power button, the device powered on. But because we replaced the power button and volume flex cables, I also went ahead and tested out the volume and mute switch to make sure that was fully functional. Then I can go ahead and screw the brackets back in to the device, make sure the battery won't come unclipped, as well as that LCD bracket. And then I can go ahead and just use a nice microfiber cloth just to give everything a nice clean up inside, make sure there's no fingerprints or anything like that. Go ahead and seal up the device, reinstall the 2 pentalobe screws on the bottom of the device. Go ahead and press that power button and test out the device, and you can see here the power button is now fully functional and this device is back in fully functional condition. And like I said, it's a 64GB iPhone 5 on iOS 10.0.1 that used to be iCloud locked but now has been iCloud unlocked with a proof of purchase at Apple. Next up, we have an iPhone 4S Black 64GB on iOS 9.3.5. Now this used to be my dad's iPhone 4S, but I've upgraded him to the iPhone 5, which I refurbished up myself. The battery in this device is in poor condition. You can see there it's about average and was barely lasting my dad a day, but he's now upgraded and I've now got this iPhone in my collection. It's a 64GB, like I said. It is currently running 9.3.5, but I do have plans to downgrade this back to iOS 6.1.3 at some point. Now, basically, it's an iPhone 4S, so it's very simple to replace that battery on this device. 2 pentalobe screws on the bottom, you slide that up, and then you can go ahead and see the entire internals of the device. Now, the back glass on this iPhone is also quite scratched, so I'm going to be replacing that along with the battery. The screen itself is in absolutely immaculate condition. My dad had this in some kind of drop-proof case, so it never actually needed a screen protector as it had one built into the display. Now, I can go ahead and remove that battery just simply by removing 2 screws. Next up, and go ahead and install the new battery. This is a brand new iPhone 4S battery. Now, I'm only replacing this mainly because it is a 64GB iPhone 4S in such good condition. Now, I go ahead, place that in. I was going to install a new adhesive tab, but seeing that no one had ever opened this device before, it didn't actually need any, as the adhesive there was way strong enough to hold in the battery. Now I can go ahead and install the new battery by screwing in the 2 screws, and I went ahead and gave a clean up to the bezel of the device just by using my plastic spudger there to scrape away any dirt, and I can go ahead and install the new back glass and screw that in place by inserting the 2 pentalobe screws into the bottom of the phone. Now we can go ahead and power on the device and make sure the battery is detected and is fully functional. You can see here the device powered up with no issues as the battery had charge in it. Go ahead and checking out the battery life on this new battery. You can see here that it's at 100% health. Now with those repairs done, this iPhone 4S 64GB is in immaculate condition with 100% battery health. It's definitely a phone I will be keeping in my collection. Next up, we have an iPhone 5 Black and Slate 64GB on iOS 10.3.3. This device had a bad battery. Now I actually removed that previously because I needed to test out some iPhone 5s that didn't actually have any batteries installed, so I used the battery from this device. So it's already been removed, so that makes my job easier as I didn't actually reassemble the device. I just went ahead and installed the screws where they came from, so when the time come and I got the new battery, I could go ahead and install that into the device. So this phone's currently been sitting on my shelf half assembled for a good couple of months now, so it's time for me to go ahead and fix that up. Now the first thing I want to go ahead and do is take off the display, and then I can go ahead and remove the old adhesive strips as they are peeling away. Now this is actually something I'd recommend if you've taken out the battery from an iPhone maybe multiple times, or the adhesive just doesn't seem very sticky. I definitely recommend replacing the adhesive strips. Now like I said with that 4S that we just did, it wasn't necessary as the battery had never been removed and the adhesive was extremely strong even after I had removed the battery, but this one was looking a little bit worse for wear, so I went ahead and installed a new battery adhesive tab, which you can just find on eBay. Mine actually just came with the batteries I ordered, so that's a nice touch from the supplier I buy my parts from. So with the new adhesive installed, I can go ahead and press down firmly on the battery to make sure that it sticks in place. Then I can go ahead and reconnect the LCD, installing all of the brackets and screws into the device, and then I can go ahead and seal up the phone. Now if you are doing an iPhone repair, I recommend placing the parts above the device and having the screws sitting next to, say, the brackets or the parts that they come from. So when the time comes to reassemble them, you know where the screws come from, and this just avoids putting the wrong screw in the wrong hole, which can result in something called long screw damage, which can damage your device as the screw actually is too long for the standoff and it will go into the logic board itself and cause severe damage. So with that all done, I can go ahead and seal up the device and reinstall the 2 pentalobe screws at the bottom of the phone. Then I can go ahead and power it on and make sure the battery is functional and the phone doesn't have any issues with battery performance. You can see here the device is now fully functional and back in working condition. Like I said earlier in the video, this is a 64GB iPhone 5 on iOS 10.3.3, which I actually got along with the other 64GB iPhone 5 in that 3 iPhone 5s for $60. So we've now gone ahead and replaced the battery in my iPhone 4S as well as my iPhone 5 64GB, as well as replaced the power button in another iPhone 5. And on that note, this has been a Hugh Jeffries video. If you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button and consider checking out the iPhone playlist for more videos like this one. Also, make sure you're following my social media, link will be in the description. That's all for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.